Everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Tammy Talks here. Let's get into Ready to Love Season 4, Episode 8, X Marks the Spot. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, thumbsing up the video if you enjoy it, as well as hop into the comment section so we can talk about it. So the episode starts off with the men are back in power. Tommy tells them that for this week he wants to push them and stretch them a little further. So they are now going to be introducing their like top prospects to their exes. And I'm like, this is stupid, because it's not like they're going to go and get the ex that like they really had the issues with, the ex that they really had the problems with, that would really, get down into the nitty gritty of what these women would like to know. They're going to go get the ex that they're like now best friends with, that they now have that, brother or sister relationship with. That's who they're going to go get, but let's go for it. So it starts off with Cornelius. He is, of course, going to have Camille meet his ex, whose name is Tanika. Camille had this big-ass abstract picture of himself on the wall, and I was like, okay, all right. So Tanika asks Camille about celibacy and her sexual intentions, knowing that Cornelius is someone who wants to wait until marriage before having sex. Camille said that she's okay with that. While she does have a son, it was kind of the son was conceived during an engagement. So she feels that when she got pregnant, she had the intention to marry. It just didn't happen. And I'm like, all right, Camille. Camille said that marriage is a one-time thing for her. So once she gets married, you are with her forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. You're with her forever. Camille gives me crazy. I don't care what nobody say. That woman is crazy. That woman is crazy. Like, I truly don't care what y'all say. Crazy. So Tanika is alarmed that Camille has been engaged 3 times. And she asked her, like, what would be different now going into this with Cornelius? Camille said, because now God is going to be at the forefront of the equation. They're going to be able to read scriptures together and lean on the word when they get through rough times. And Cornelius asked her, were you dating a heathen? Like, were the people you were dating before, were they not into the Lord? So, and I mean, I thought that was weird too. So, like, was God not in any of your relationships before? Alrighty, Camille. So, Camille is getting ready to leave, and she's like grilling Cornelius, like, how much later she gonna be here? She ain't got nothing else to do. And it's like, it's amazing to me that Cornelius does not see red flags with her. What is going on here? Cornelius, what is going on? How do you not see red flags with this woman? It's weird. It is really, really weird. So Phil has his ex, Sabrina. He has Shiloh meet her, and then Cecilia shows up. Y'all know Cecilia don't like nobody. Cecilia has been bitter since she has been in the bottom 2 or 3 times. So she didn't like her seat. She said the way that she felt was that Shiloh and Phil were on a date, and she was like the third wheel breaking, like she was the woman that was just kind of like third wheeling it. And it's kind of weird how it's weird to me how to see it like she complains a lot. She comes across very aggressive. I don't know. I've told y'all how I feel about her. She is a lot, and I'm sure she means well, but like the way that you say stuff and the tone that things come out, it matters. And I think that's what's been keeping Cecilia back in this process. Not necessarily that she's not ready to be loved, like she's not ready for love, but it's more of like, why are you so like low-key bitter with the undertone of angry about everything? So she says she feels that it should have been Phil in the middle, and then Cecilia on one side, Shiloh on the other, with his date or with his ex across from them. And while that might have been a better situation, you should have been on time. You weren't on time, I guess. So Shiloh said that someone not being affectionate is a deal breaker for her. Cecilia felt like everyone was cutting her off. Shiloh did kind of cut her off, but I don't think it was maliciously. I don't think it was purposely. Like, it kind of seemed like they were both going to say something, but Shiloh was just louder in general. So Tasia stopped talking. If you feel like people keep cutting you off, girl, keep talking through them. That's what I do. If I feel like somebody's continually cutting me off, I am going to keep talking through you so that you get the point. I'm talking. So she didn't do that. So Tasia said that some like one of her kind of flaws or something she's working on is the fact that she's kind of uptight. And I'm like, we know. So she says she's uptight, she's calculated and strategic, and that's because she is a Taurus. And then Shiloh said that I guess Shiloh was a Taurus and the ex is a Taurus. But the ex asked Tasia, how did her previous relationships, how did her exes feel about that? And she was like, I'm not comfortable talking to you about that. And I'm like, I feel like that's a very straightforward question. Like, if I'm here because I'm trying to get to know you for my friend, and I ask you, like, you say that you're a certain way, and then I ask you a follow-up question as to how did your exes feel about that, you don't want to talk about it, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. So Shiloh asked what were Phil's red flags, and the ex just said communication and how expressive he can be. So he might be a person that when he gets loud, he yells, or he's very, like kind of one of those type of people. So we'll see what happens. Frank's brings his ex Leah, and she was white. I said, okay. I wasn't surprised, but I was like, okay. He has Moomin and Sydney meet her. I don't know why they're having these women meet these exes at the same time. You couldn't have them meet the ex separately. Even if it is the same woman, you couldn't have them meet the ex separately, but I guess. So Sydney has like her iOS note app open on her phone, and she had a bunch of questions. I get you don't want to like forget anything, but like, did you need to know all 35 questions? Ask a couple big things, and then I feel like conversation will flow, right? And then that's how you progress into additional questions. They talk about communication skills. Frank's ex said that she like they ended because his communication wasn't there. His communication is better in person than it is via text. And she felt like she just didn't get enough attention. He was more focused on work and other things, and she just didn't get the attention that she wanted. So Walter has his ex Denise. This woman's nails, y'all, were like this long. Like, this is like one of her nails. I was like, oh Lord. So Sabrina comes up. Sabrina does not seem ready to meet her. Like, she was like she wanted to meet her, at like in general. She had a bit of an attitude. What kills me is like these women know they're on a TV show. You know that so I kind of feel like you know that there are different things. Y'all had these men meet your friends and stuff before. So when they come up and they see another woman there, like why are y'all kind of like, oh, I gotta meet someone? Y'all had these men, like meet your friends just the week before. So I never understood why they all were like, is there some other woman here? Well, of course you're gonna be meeting somebody. It's not somebody he's dating. We're on a show. Like that, like the women's reactions to that every single time was like so annoying to me. So Sabrina meets her. Denise said that Walter likes a challenge. Okay. And she asked Sabrina, is she ready? Sabrina says she is too classy and fabulous to be a challenge, or to shy away from a challenge, or to be problematic, whatever the case. So Denise asks her, like, are there any like questions or anything that you have for me? And then Sabrina said, if I have a question, I'll ask him. I don't need to ask you anything. He'll tell me. And I'm like, what is with the negative energy? Like, because if Walter would have had that same energy with your friends last week, it would have been a problem. So I don't understand, like, why you're giving that same energy now to his people. That was weird to me. So Moomin shows up. The moment Moomin shows up, Sabrina gets even deeper in her attitude. And then it's just like, I gotta go. I got something I gotta get to. So she leaves. So Moomin talks to Denise, said that she does not plan on having sex until she's married. Walter says in his confessional he's very sexual. Sex is very important to him. So it's kind of like, so why are you even involving yourself with a woman that wants to wait until marriage? Mumin says that she has to run to go do something. Denise was like, everybody's so busy. They just didn't want to meet with you, girl. And I would feel a little bit offended, but they didn't want to meet with you. So Denise says that she thinks Mumin is a better fit because she's more down to earth and she feels that Sabrina gives crazy and controlling vibes. And I say she definitely gives controlling. So we have Dante. He has his ex Stacy and he has Zadia. And then Shiloh shows up. Zadia is completely thrown off guard. Um, Once again, like she doesn't really know how to, like, she gets real stiff and then we see like her attitude coming out. So Shiloh is bubbly. She like adapts to the situation. She's ready to go. I think a big part of it is the fact that Shiloh has already been on a date or been in a situation where she's meeting an ex with someone already. So I feel like she was kind of better prepared for it if these dates happened in order, right? So um they asked his ex, excuse me, they asked Dante's ex, like, if seeing, the different changes in him, the growth that he has had, since you, would you date him again? And the ex said that she would. Shiloh thinks that that's a good sign. Zadia, however, I think she saw that as a red flag. So Dante mentions he liked how Shiloh was able to adapt to the situation, whereas Zadia seemed closed off, and that was a red flag for him. But I'm like, Dante, you're a walking red flag. You have 3 kids by 3 baby mamas. You are a walking red flag, sir. So then we have Naeem. He brings his ex Victoria. Zadia meets her. So Zadia said that her love language is physical touch. Victoria says that Naeem does not cuddle. He's not big on physical touch. She's never known him to be in a long-term relationship. He's very guarded and particular. So Zadia said that means that he's picky. And he was like, no, just particular. Like, he knows what he wants. Victoria tells him that she is worried about Zadia's ability to be there for him emotionally. And it's like, damn, Zadia, you getting a bad shake all around tonight, ain't you, girl? The past 2 weeks ain't really been it for you. So we see Sydney invites Phil out on a date to work out. She said that when she first showed up at the big group event, she saw Phil standing by himself for a moment smoking a cigar. He never approached her. He never came over to the group. That intrigued her, so she invited him out. They have a little talking, whatever, whatever. So the men get back to their, like, the deliberation war room, and they get back to their, like, deliberation war room, and Walter is saying he wants to keep Camille around for Cornelius, because basically if Camille goes home, Cornelius is going to go home because he ain't been talking to nobody else. So we have Phil who takes Cecilia out, and Frank takes out Sabrina. So Frank takes Sabrina out. Sabrina came in with very, very hostile, negative energy. She was like, she felt like it was a setup. She was asking Frank, like, why are we meeting here together? We haven't been talking. Actually, none of the men have been talking to me. She knows that this week, one of the women is being eliminated. She has not talked to anybody all week. Now she gets invited out on this date. To her, it's a setup. And I'm like, well, yeah, like, I feel like any woman that gets invited out towards the end of the week like that has to kind of feel that, yeah, I might be getting sent home. So she feels that it's not fair to her, that no one is communicating with her, that she has to go out and kind of do the most. Frank tells her, like, you've been giving conflicting information. Like, I feel like she has told a majority of the men that, kids are off the table, she's done. But I think she has said that she might be willing to have a baby with some of the other men. So it's very conflicting information. And because of that, the men are kind of looking at her a little sideways about it. So, but they tell her that, or Frank tells her that, they're going to keep her around, just to try to, like, open herself up more. She feels there is nothing more that she can do because no one is reaching out to her. But I feel like she has been all about Walter and only Walter the entire time. I think one of the biggest issues on the show is that everyone says that they're willing to date, and then they wonder why no one is reaching out to them, but they latch on to one person super super quickly, and that's what happens. So then we have Phil, who takes out Cecilia, and he tells her that, he is like, she's been like really up there for him, and she's like one of the realest, and but they, the men don't feel like she's ready to love. And she was like, I guess being real don't make the cut. And I'm like, don't do that, because you're implying that none of the other men are real. So like, it's weird. But to see is gone, good riddance. Like I said, I don't think this is the show for her, because she found her, like, I feel like she found herself trying to latch on to different men. I feel like we start to see it go out on dates with the most men out of any of the other women that we saw on TV. I could be wrong, but we saw her with Phil, Frank, Sean, and I think there was one other person. She was on that like group date with Dante and them. So I feel like we've seen her go out with the most men, and it's always like an adverse reaction because she feels like they weren't doing this for her, or they didn't pay attention to her. Plus, she had that negative energy from Jump when she was in the first bottom two. So next week is the group trip. We see everybody starts to pair off a little more. And it looks like Zadia, who has had very negative energy the past couple of episodes, gets into it with Aisha, who we didn't see at all this week. So I will catch you guys in the next one.